Hi, welcome to the Barney Chronicles, and more importantly, this 5-part series that I wish existed before I started my journey. Over the next few episodes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I did to consistently lose weight using Mounjaro or Tirzepatide weight loss injections whilst having minimal side effects. I'm going to cover the tough reality check that got me started, the research and trial and error stage that followed, key steps that helped me stay on track, and of course, things I wish I had known before I ever picked up the quick pen that would have saved me a lot of time, money, and uncertainty. So whether you're on your own GLP-1 journey or thinking about starting, this series is here to give you honest, real-world insight and practical tips you can actually use. If you're new here, firstly, thank you for checking out the channel. My name's Scott. I'm 38 years old, 5'8", and at the start of my Mounjaro journey, around 3 months ago now, weighed just over 100 kilos or 220 pounds. I decided to document my journey for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to keep myself accountable, so I wanted to track my own journey, making sure I'm sticking to the things I set out at the very start. Secondly, if this channel helps anybody, even just one person, it's a bonus in my eyes. I'll be releasing 1 episode every week, as well as my weekly updates. I've also time-stamped all the videos, so you can skip to the parts you want to see. But without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 2, suppliers and the process. Now I decided that Mounjaro was something I was going to do, the next step is finding the supplier, finding the private pharmacy that I wanted to get my Mounjaro from. Not only that, I'll talk about the process of actually getting Mounjaro. When it comes to suppliers, there are hundreds. For the sake of this episode, I'm going to be talking about UK-based suppliers. So if you are in another country, there'll probably be loads where you are as well, but the steps that I went through are pretty similar. Price comparison. So I looked around for a lot of different suppliers and what they were offering price-wise. The one thing I found out very quickly is just because it's the cheapest supplier doesn't mean it's going to be the best. And that's one of the mistakes I made. So I went down the route of finding the cheapest supplier, but it was only cheap for the first injection. A lot of suppliers will offer, a discount for your first quick pen, but then when you move on to the second quick pen, it jumps up dramatically. If I was to do this again, I would have definitely done more research. So there's plenty of Facebook groups, plenty of people online on social media. Again, what I'd say here is there's lots of people going to be shouting about using their referral codes, of course, because they get a discount as well. But there's a few things that if I was to do this again, I would look for before that side. The main things for me is the support. So is the pharmacy going to be on hand for support? Are the clinicians you can talk to? Are the people that you can go back to if you're having bad side effects or if you want good information on next steps? Because a lot of suppliers will tell you to titrate up or to change your dose up to the next level after 1 month, where in reality it's not necessary. I stayed at 2.5 milligram for 2 months before moving up dose. Now, you may need to. 2.5 milligrams per week may not be enough for you, but you want to be able to have someone to talk to that's not just after your money. Also, apps. So some pharmacies will offer apps or portals, online portals, where you can discuss things, you can track weight, you can track side effects. Again, all these things are really, really important because if you are going down the Mounjaro route, you probably haven't done it before. And so there is a lot of unknowns, which is scary. Of course it is. And so having that bit of support is really beneficial because, again, a lot of people won't want to tell people they're on weight loss injections because of this horrible stigma around it. So having somebody unbiased that you can talk to about it is going to be hugely beneficial. Pharmacies that offer maintenance. Now this is a really, really important part that I didn't look into and I'm now paying for that. So A lot of pharmacies will not supply Mounjaro if your BMI is under 30 or 27. So you need to find a pharmacy that will support maintenance doses, because if you're like me and it's a case of this is going to be a long-term thing until I have this healthy relationship with food and alcohol, even once I've lost the weight, I'm going to want to be on maintenance for a while. So finding a pharmacy that will support you over this maintenance period is going to be really important, because if you don't, it could be a situation where the pharmacy you're with won't supply pens after you go below the 27 or 30 BMI, and then getting Mounjaro from a new supplier could be more difficult. Once I decided on the pharmacy I wanted to use, the next step is finding discount codes. Now this bit's pretty easy. Every single person online will be firing codes at you. So once you've found the pharmacy you want to use, get a discount code. It will massively help on the first injection you get. But like I said before, I would definitely recommend looking at what the prices are ongoing or after. Some people do kind of switch from pharmacy to pharmacy to utilise that first pen discount. But again, unless that pharmacy that you're going to end up staying with supports maintenance, it could become an issue later down the line. So the process, possibly the least fun part of Mounjaro, apart from side effects. So once you've found the pharmacy, you've got your discount code, you're ready to go. It's the dreaded questionnaire and body pics. With the questionnaire, it's pretty straightforward, I suppose. Loads of tick boxes. You probably have to put in your GP's address, your doctor, so they can send out an email to them letting them know you've started some form of medication. They don't tell them it's Mounjaro, but they'll just say that you've gone through a private pharmacy and that you're on medication. And it's up to you then to decide whether you talk to them about it or not. I would definitely suggest it, but that's, of course, anybody's decision. Scale and body photos. This was the least fun part for me. I was already pretty conscious about my weight. I didn't really like being in photos, let alone taking photos in fitted clothes to then send to a stranger. Usually it tends to be a picture of you standing on scales with the amount on the scales and maybe a piece of paper with the date on it. Also, a frontal picture of you in fitted clothing and a side picture of you as well, with maybe a piece of paper with a date, etc. This is for the clinicians to decide if you are okay to take Mounjaro. I haven't had any issues with this as of yet, as I was quite big when I first started. Once you've sent the pictures, you filled out the questionnaire, then it's the wait. You pay for the medication, you pay for the first injection or the first quick pen, and then you wait. I've been pretty lucky with it. Usually like a day or two after I've sent everything off, I'll get a confirmation email saying, yes, you've been accepted. And then they'll give you a rough date of when the injection will arrive. With the delivery, it's all dependent on suppliers, on the pharmacist themselves. Usually 5 to 10 days, I've found. The only one thing is, because it's a cold delivery you'll get, so you'll get the quick pen in the box with the leaflets, the needles and the sanitizer wipes. It all comes in cold box with ice packs. So making sure that you're going to be home around the delivery time, really important. I haven't missed a delivery yet, so I'm not too sure what happens if you're not there when it does turn up. But I'd be pretty dubious of taking an injection that's gone warm. If you've watched to the end, again, thank you. I really appreciate it. Next episode that'll be out next week is pre-injection prep and the first injection. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.